All right. I think we've started. Um, Hello and thank you everybody for coming. This is our lunch and learn for the month of October. I still can't believe that we are already to the October timeframe for the year. It's been an incredible year. Welcome. I promised you the secret sauce to inviting visitors today, and I hope if you would like to have lunch while we're here, feel free to. You're very welcome to. I also showed you my hot sauce. That's the secret sauce for me. If you ever want to, don't give me an apple. I'm not a teacher, but Cholula always makes me happy. And it is the secret sauce to making everything delicious. So I wanted to just share that with you. As much as you can, keep your cameras on because it's much more fun for us to see people. And thank you very much. The first thing I wanted to start with is this. Inviting visitors to BNI meetings is not about getting bums on seats. It really isn't. We invite people with purpose. We invite people with passion. We invite
Er,
people for a reason. And I
Professor
would like
Joy,
to share with
he
you what those
just a
reasons
rough
are.
test.
Let's see, there we go. I'd like to share with you what those reasons are today. And I'm going to give you lots of words that you can use that will help to make this a strategic process for you, an intentional process for you, and a comfortable process for you. And so this is really, really important. This is not what it's about. Not about getting bums on seats. Instead, it's about growing your network. Now, those of you who have known me for a while know that I wrote a book. I wrote a book called Stop Wasting Your Time Networking. We don't want people to feel like they're a bum on a seat, or they will be wasting their time. We want them to feel that they've been invited with intention and care. So, I thought we could use the chat. Why are visitors part of the BNI system? Now, while you're typing your answer in the chat, I just want to share with you the words BNI system. BNI is a system that you guys are using. You're either using it well, or you're using it casually, or you're not using it well at all. Now, those of you who are here are definitely using it well because you've got lifelong learning in mind. You're thinking about these things. So just realize you're part of a system that was worked for almost 41 years now. So why are visitors part of the BNI system? So we're going to read these out. Let me look at my chat here. Where did my chat go? There we go. All right, Tamara's not going to be able to write. That's good. Don't write while you're driving. To help develop relationships. Alana, great answer. Absolutely. That's why we invite visitors. They help every member grow their network, Bridget. They absolutely, positively help everybody grow their network. They help us find potential new members, without a doubt. And growing your chapter is an important part of the strategy for you, not for me. They definitely give energy to the meeting. They grow our network, correct, Laura? Potential chapter growth, Greg. I love the way you've said potential because it truly is potential growth of the chapter. We aren't inviting them to join, in fact, we're inviting them to experience the meeting. Come and just experience the meeting, meet the people, see what we do, and tell me what you think about it. I'd love to find out. That's a great way to invite people. New input. Love that, Tatiana. Encourage and empower relationships. Really, really important. Being able to sell through the room and through the networks that the visitors are part of. So I love that, Hudson, because we don't sell to the room at all. But the people who are in the room might have the connections we need. So that's why we need to be specific in our weekly referral requests because you never know who the people know. I love that. 40% of our business is from the visitors, Brad. Now, I I don't know if that's true, but I know that they spend on average about $1,500 each. $1,500 each on average comes from visitors. Now, the reason I don't know that anymore is because now that we use BNI Connect to track our thank you for closed business, we often will attribute closed business to a person who invited a visitor. Yeah. So Brad, if Dinesh were to invite a visitor to the chapter, you would likely, if that visitor bought a service from you, give that closed business to Dinesh. So we actually cannot say with any kind of quantity that amount is attributable to visitors. So I'm really careful with percentages, but significantly they spend money. Network of contacts, potential partners. They can be someone whose trade is not in our chapter yet and might be missing one. Absolutely. And expanding our network. All of these are really good reasons why it's part of the system to invite visitors. Okay, that's great. That's why they're part of our system. I'd like to ask you this question then. Why do people come to a BNI meeting? And why would people be there? What would be the purpose of them coming? Think of it from their perspective. You've invited them. Why are they there?
Why are they there?
Why do people even come? Yeah, exactly, Laura. They're, you know what they're doing? I love this. They're curious. They have fascination about what it's all about. They're looking for business. You know what they're doing, you guys? Suck it and see. Greg, I love it. That's just honest. Well, I've heard about this BNI thing. Let me find out what it's about. And Jane's hit it on the head. You know what they're doing? They're networking. They're coming to a networking event. That's what they're doing. So people come to a BNI meeting to connect. That's why they're there. Now, they should, in my opinion, be invited to visit once. Invite them to visit once. Don't say, listen, it's weekly, you need to do this and that and the other, and we've got these KPIs and there's all these things and blah, 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 blah. You don't need to give them that. You know what it is for them? It's a networking opportunity. And they're invited to those all the time, but not personally sometimes. Sometimes it's by social media. Sometimes it's by a email that they've gotten because they're on an email distribution list. Sometimes they go to the chamber meetings. Sometimes they receive 36 emails from a chamber of commerce every year and they don't go to one. They're a member. They're even a member of that chamber of commerce. And they get the initial announcement about the event, they get the reminder, and they get the last chance. And they never go. You give them a personal invite to do a networking event with you first thing in the morning on a Friday or a Thursday or a Tuesday or whatever. And that's a personal invite. It's lovely. All right. They come for potential. Yeah. And Bridget, feeling lonely. Now, CGPRI, who is that? Who's CGPRI? I can't see CGPRI. Um, who's anyway, CGPRI has said sympathy with the BNI member asking them to come. I don't know what that means. Who's CGPRI? I'd love to find out what your.
Christopher Price.
Oh, there he is. Christopher, how are you? Welcome, a brand new member of our BNI family. It's great to have you here. What do you think that you mean by that?
Well, it means if you've developed a good relationship with the people around you who aren't necessarily in your network, and you want to draw them into your network, that's what helps is developing it's a good personal relationship.
Nice. So they're not coming out of sympathy for you, though.
They might be. It might be simply because they're sympathetic towards me because I'm friendly to them.
Yeah. Okay, good. I love that. Fantastic. Bridget's also written to hear someone present, to meet someone specific that you think they connect with. All these are good reasons that people come. So we need to tell them those reasons, but mostly we keep it simple. Come to a networking event with me. Yeah. If you know them well, then you could use that sympathetic um, uh, ear that Chris is talking about. But if you know them really well, just say, trust me. You're going to want to be there, and I want you to meet these people. Trust me. If they're friends of yours, they're in your network, they know you, then trust me would work for me. If you were to tell me right now, and I know most of you pretty well, if you were to tell me right now you've got to come to this event, trust me, it'll be worth your time. I would go. If I was available, I would go because you're asking me to go. So think about it from your network's perspective. Would you really like them, the people in your network, to meet your chapter members and to see why you go every month, every week, all the time to this BNI thing? I think you do. So let them know. All right. So I want you to think about this. And this is the premise of today. Oops, I went one too far. I don't need you to answer this right now. I want you to write it down. And I want you to take notes about this. What do you say when you invite someone to attend? Because this is the secret sauce, isn't it? This is what we need to figure out. We want to know what we say when we invite someone to attend. So as we speak today in this beautiful lunch and learn, which I promise will be over on time at 1:30, if not before, what do you say when you invite someone to attend? Hopefully, I'm going to give you a few nuggets, and you might give each other a few good nuggets to answer that question. So here we go with the secret sauce to inviting visitors. Now, I have done a presentation on inviting visitors before, and I've used these images before. So I want you to know that these are still valid. Here are the tools that you need to invite visitors. You always need a pen and you always need a piece of paper because when you are at your meetings each week, people are specifically asking for introductions, aren't they? If they're doing their weekly presentations right, they are giving you hint after hint after hint of who they want to meet. So I really hope you are taking notes every single week. And if you're not, I wonder what the people who are talking are thinking. Is it a waste of their time to be there every week if they ask for something, but nobody takes a note? Nobody goes, oh, I know someone like that, and they write something down. Think about it from your perspective. If you were to say specifically that you wanted to meet Jessica Jones from ABC Corp, she works out of their Narrabeen branch, and she would be an amazing contact for you. What if people are on their phones, they're not thinking. You need a pen. Write down Jessica Jones's name and a little bit later look and see if you're connected to her on LinkedIn. Maybe by writing it down, it'll give you some memory recall and you'll meet someone who works at ABC Corp in Narrabeen and you'll be able to say, wait a minute, I took a note. A friend of mine was looking for Jessica, someone. But because you've written it down, you might remember it. Yeah? So pen and paper. Second thing you need is a cute dog. No, I'm kidding. You need open ears. You need great ears. You need your ears to be perked up and listening to people. So make sure that even if you do have a cute dog, that you're listening. Yeah. Make sure you've got your ears open all the time because people will say things that will make you think, wait a minute, they should come to our meeting. Love for them to do that. Another tool you need is a phone. Greg's right. A cute dog always helps. It helps them come over to you and say, wow, what's your dog's name? They never ask my name. They ask my dog's name. Anyway, so here's the other thing. Oh, look, there's my dog right there on my phone. You need a tool. This is a tool. It's called a phone. And I just think that a lot of people use social media to invite people. If you're interested in growing your business, come to my meeting next week. Here's a link. And they just post that willy-nilly. And that's not personal. This is personal. And a really great tip that I think a few of the marketing people on this call would probably agree with is that if you don't get their attention on the phone, if they don't answer, leave them a video message, a short video message that says, hey, it's Wendy. I just wanted to say a quick hello, but here I am. I wanted to invite you to my meeting next week. It's a networking opportunity, and I think you'd be really great. You could do that. You could also do that with your clients. Video messages break through the clutter. Yeah. All right. You also need to be targeted. That's what this last bullet picture is. It's got a whole bunch of white post-it notes, and then it's got a gold one or an orange one. I'm gonna talk to you more about being specific. All right. So those are the tools of the trade. Keep your ears open. Have a pen and paper ready. Use your phone and be specific. Make lists about the people that you would want to invite. Okay, let's go on and give you guys the gold. The best reason to invite someone. I used to use this one last. I used to put this one last, but you know what? This is what everybody in your chapter wants you to do. They want you to invite people who can experience BNI. They will either be in an open category that you want to fill, an open category that either you need yourself as a member, someone missing from your contact sphere, your power team is not as successful. You keep giving referrals to other chapters because this person is missing from yours. Open categories. Or they might be in a closed category. You've met someone and you think, wow, this would be a great person in BNI. I'm going to invite them to come and visit our chapter and meet the person who is in their category. Very specifically, they're a commercial lawyer. We already have a commercial lawyer, but wow, they could really use BNI. I'm going to say, listen, I want to invite you to come to a networking event next week because I want you to meet this lady who gets so much out of BNI. She does what you do, and I think you'd be good connections for each other. But I also think that you should meet her and find out if something like this would be good for your business. Great reason to invite someone. All right. Now, the second reason to invite someone would be to meet a specific member. Let's say you're talking to a client of yours and you think of something they're saying, your ears are open, they say something, and you think, wow, I really would love for you to meet the business coach in my chapter. You're thinking that. I think you should really meet the business coach in my chapter. You don't really understand your vision, or you need some work on this. And you're thinking all these things, but you can't say all of that. But what you might want to say is, listen, I'd love for you to meet a few people in my chapter. You might be interested in someone who I've been talking to, great business coach. Also, we've got a good financial planner. Also, we've got, someone who does commercial finance, whatever. But the thing is, you're inviting them to meet a specific person. And guess what? This is efficient. BNI is efficient. You don't have to have a one-to-one with them and set up a group meeting. You instead invite them to come to something you're already going to. Why not leverage a meeting you're already committed to in order to get them to come? All right. A third reason to invite someone to your chapter is because it's a person who needs better suppliers. Maybe they're complaining about suppliers, or that they can never find someone who does things, or they can't rely on their printer, or they've just gotten into business. Maybe they have just left corporate and they've just started their own business. BNI might not be right for them yet. It might be. I'm not saying startups are bad for BNI, but it might be overwhelming for a startup to get involved. But you could introduce them to BNI as an amazing supply chain. They can meet marketing people, they can meet business services people, they can meet personal services people, they can meet all kinds of people who like, and trust. And say, listen, if you'd really like to get to understand why I recommend them so much, why don't you come with me one morning? And just see what they're like, because then you'll understand why I recommend them so much. Yeah. I don't recommend them because they're in my BNI chapter. I recommend them because I trust them. I've gotten to know them, and they are quality business professionals. I never, ever have referred someone because they're in BNI. Nope. I might have met them because they're in BNI. but I only refer them because they are the right scratch for the itch that the person has. All right. Also, consumers. So I just spoke about businesses, but consumers also deserve access to good quality products and services. If you have met someone who is thinking about renovating their house, they've just bought one, and in a couple of years they're going to be renovating their house, why not invite them and say, listen, before you even start planning, why don't you come one morning to meet this group of suppliers that there's so many, they work together, they do a lot of work, and you're planting the seed for them. And just say, listen, I don't even need to tell them that you're looking. Just come and meet them and see why I would recommend them. Yeah, fantastic. All right, so I'm going to read in the chat. Greg wrote, as to closed categories, I recently invited a fellow in a closed category for him to suck it and see, and he ended up being approached by a couple of chapter members to be available for them. Tell me a little bit more about that, Greg. I'd love to hear more.
Um, he's a young plumber that is a client of mine for other reasons, and he's just recently gone out on his own. And I thought he might be interested in the possibility of networking and seeing how some people expand their business and the like. So I invited him along, and you'll know these characters, Wendy, but Rafa, even before breakfast started, was up to him to get his business card because he would have a need for plumbers in different areas of the Sydney greater area. And then John Temblett, a plumber, tells me that he wants to approach him too because um, my mate Kent works and lives rather up in the hills,
Yeah.
and John often has things he has to refer up that way.
So do you guys see that the attitude of those two members was not of competition, it was of collaboration? And I'm hopeful that every single member in our BNI community globally has that collaboration mindset. There's a possibility that John Temlett, the member, might be able to outsource or send business, overflow business to this visitor if he knows, likes, and trusts him. He would have never met the visitor had Greg not invited him. So that's the kind of collaborative environment that I absolutely love. And then Bridget writes, I was talking to a friend whose husband wants to flip houses, and she said you should visit BNI to find trustworthy tradies. Exactly what this slide is all about, to introduce them to amazing suppliers. Here's another reason to invite someone. Let's say that I have given a third level referral to Nalini. Nalini offers general insurance to businesses. And I've met this person who's recently complained about the cost of their insurance and the fact that it's doubled in the last year. And I asked them if they've talked to an insurance broker at all, and they say no, they went direct. And I've written a really lovely email introduction for Nalini to meet this person. Let's continue to call her Jessica. And Nalini and Jessica meet and I'm sorry, are introduced on that email. They write back and forth to each other a little bit, but I would like to make it a bit stronger. I could invite Jessica to come to the meeting to meet Nalini in person. And during the open networking, I can make sure that I'm available, that Nalini's available, and that Jessica is introduced to Nalini directly, given her business card in person, and that I make the connection more firm. That right there is called a level 5 referral. It's where I, the referrer, introduce the person who has the problem to the person who can solve it. That's a level 5. And I do it in person. Level 4 is if I organize for Nalini and Jessica to meet away from me. But level 5 is gold. So bring them. Bring them to the meeting and say, listen, why don't we kill two birds with one stone? I'm going to be at the meeting. Nalini's going to be at the meeting. Why don't you come, experience the meeting, and do some networking, but I can also introduce you in person. Do you see? It's about helping them. And finally, a showcase presentation. We often Ask our members who they would like to have in the room. And guess what? A pen would help right then. The minute that the treasurer asks that question when they're introducing the next speaker, and they say, before we do that, let me tell you about the upcoming speakers. And then they say, Brad, who would you like to have in the room next week? And Brad is going to list either his ideal target market or collaborative referral partners, right? Be prepared for that question. Have an answer there and be specific if you can. Maybe repeat what you already said in your 60 seconds or your 40 seconds or your 30 seconds or whatever you were already given. Repeat your referral request because repetition will improve recall. So don't add a new one to it. Repeat what you already said. My presentation next week would be perfectly read by this person who I've already asked for. I'd love that person to be at this meeting next week. All right. So have a pen and help your fellow members. Also, when you are presenting, it's an ideal opportunity for you. Plan and share your presentation in advance. Every one-to-one that you have on the lead up to your keynote presentation should include an agenda item that covers who you would like to have in the room and invites them to brainstorm with you 2 or 3 people that they could invite to see you present out of their network. Imagine how amazing that would be. Yeah, I do think that it's your job to bring visitors to your presentation. It's not everybody else's job. But if you're strategic and you use your one-to-ones well in advance of your presentation and you make that an agenda item, one of the purposes of your one-to-one in the lead up to your presentation is to help make your presentation great and to help make sure you've got the right audience in the room. We each have to take responsibility for having the right people in the room. We can't just rely on everybody to remember that. So you might want to be strategic about who you have one-to-ones with in advance of your presentation. Who knows your target market? Who do you want in the room? All right. So think about that and plan some preemptive one-to-ones before you talk and then plan a few after. Did I tell you the name of my company is called Strategic Networking? That's strategic. That's strategically thinking about the way that you're going to use and leverage that 10-minute showcase. All right. So the secret sauce, and I have to tell you, remember I asked you before, what will you say to someone to get them to come to your meeting? Here, you get it ready, get your pens out. Would you like to come to a networking event with me next Thursday morning, next Friday morning, next Wednesday morning? I have a feeling that most people in BNI don't ask that question often enough. If you simply asked that question 3 times a week to 3 different people, not the same people, but 3 different people, and you wrote down the 3 people that you asked, just to keep track of it in your head, or not in your head, on paper. Just say, okay, I asked my neighbor, I asked my ex-coworker, and I asked a lawyer who I think would be really good for John's presentation next week. And write down just their names. Boom, boom, boom. I asked 3 people this week. I feel good. All 3 of them said no. I don't care. All 3 of them were invited. Use these words. Would you like to come to a networking event with me next Thursday morning? Oh, I'm busy next Thursday. That's fine. How about the week after? Yeah? I think you would really benefit from it. And if you know them well, say, trust me, it'll be very valuable. Yeah. If you don't know them very well, then say, I really think it would be powerful for your business and a great connection for you. It's a good networking event. I don't believe BNI is a networking organization. BNI is a system that enables you to grow your business. But when you go once, it's a networking event. So invite them to a networking event. All right? That makes sense? So there you go. There's the secret sauce in asking the question. Now, a lot of people have asked me this, and so I thought I'd address it on a slide. To pay or not to pay? That is the question. So many people say, should I pay for my visitors? And my answer is an absolute no. I don't believe that you should pay for your visitors to come unless, and I do say unless, if you have asked them to speak on your behalf, to give a testimonial during your presentation, maybe, or to even add value to your presentation by getting up and giving a case study, or maybe in that rare circumstance, I would say, listen, please come as my guest. I'd like to pay for you. But otherwise, it's a networking event. I don't pay for other people to come with me to a chamber. If I invited Bridget right now to go to the Sydney Hills Chamber event that she probably is going to anyway, I wouldn't say, oh, and I'll pay for you. It's just silly. I believe that people expect that. So say to them, be ready for that. Say, listen, if you'd like to come, I'll just send you a registration link so you can register. Be matter of fact about it. You don't need to apologize and say it's $55 breakfast. I'm so sorry. No, it's a great networking opportunity. It's only $50 and they're going to send you a link. I'm going to send you a link. Whoever's going to send you a link. So powerful when you believe that it's inexpensive. The opportunity is priceless. The networking opportunity is there. You've come, and I believe that you all paid. Hopefully. Go treasurers. Yoo-hoo. Okay, let me read this. Let's see. I got a message from a new connection inviting me to 2 networking events, one BNI, one something else. Yeah. What do you mean by that, Bridget? Why do you share that? Why is that an interesting take?
Um, I thought it was really, people get very scared about it. And as you said, they don't get scared about inviting you to a chamber, or this one was a fun. Sorry, I've got the electricians here, so it may be a bit loud.
Can't hear anything.
But it felt like it wasn't scary. I was being given a choice of events rather than being harangued.
Yeah.
And I think for the BNI member who did it, who didn't actually know I was in BNI already, it's just a way of it's a much more generous approach, because it's about, here are some things I do that you think are interesting. I'd like to spend time with you. Maybe we can network together, rather than come to BNI. You must come to BNI and you have to join BNI because BNI is be all and end all of everything. It reduced all the stress.
Yeah, I love it. And I think that if any of you are connected to me on LinkedIn, last week I had an extraordinary week of networking. There just happened to be a lot of things that had gone on in a 7-day period. So I posted about that. And I think what Bridget's saying is valuable. If you're going to a couple networking events in a week, call someone and say, don't waste the opportunity to go with someone, to bring them along and to say, I'm going to it already. See you, Fiona. All right. So I also agree with Jean. You never mentioned price. You don't really need to mention price. If they ask what the price is, say it's only $50 or whatever it is, right? It includes the meeting, and it's mostly for the meeting. Yeah. The breakfast is free. That's what I usually say. All right. And Greg, yes, if you're mentoring someone, I'm not saying I'm opposed to it. What I'm saying is if you're inviting 3 people per week and they all say yes, that could get ineffective and not part of your intention of buying everybody breakfast. Yeah, correct, Bridget. They're very expensive. Okay. You will very rarely hear me say be selfish in a BNI world. After all, our motto, our philosophy, our viva la resistance is be givers gain. But in this instance, I want you to realize that you need the right people in the room. Every single one of you watch a group of people each week give referrals to each other, don't you? You might have a really strong trades group in your chapter. You might have a really strong business services group. You might have a really strong marketing group. You might have a really strong, doesn't matter. Some groups have stronger groups, contact spheres and power teams than others. And you watch them with a little bit of FOMO, don't you? Oh, I wish I had a group like that. You talk to other people and say, we got a really good trades group, but we don't have a very strong business services group. And that's the group I'm in. So, I don't get as much as they do. I think we feel like that. And you know what? You're right. You need the right people in the room. You need the right people in the room. Because this is true. Oops. Go back. Go back. How do I go back? Back. 67%, up to 67%, and probably more than that in some instances, of your business will come from the people in your power team if you're running a power team.
Yeah.
Vanessa organized a power team meeting for the business services group in BNI United a couple of weeks ago, maybe gosh, that could have been in June for all I know. It's the way the year's going, but it was a fantastic meeting, and she invited me to sit in on it, and I welcome that invitation, and I appreciate it. You can see, Vanessa, how 67% could come from just the people at that one table, and how powerful it is to use and layer the BNI membership with a power team. Yeah, really powerful. And you can see how 67% of the business could come from just a handful of people. So it's important that you form a power team. Now, I am saying power team instead of contact sphere. I know I am. I think a contact sphere is a very BNI jargony term. I don't hear anybody else talk about contact spheres very much. And I am going to be using this slide quite a lot. And I'm going to give you this whole slide deck. So if you feel like using this slide, you can. And you could print this one and say, where are my people? Who do I need? All right. Who do I need? Now, you also might notice on here, I've put a photographer in a few different categories because usually people specialize in BNI. A marketing services photographer might do different things than someone who does events like birthday parties or other events. Now, I'm not trying to say that you should have more than one photographer in the room, but I think that you could, and you probably will, if you have specialists in the room. There's a lot of corporate photographers who don't do family photography, for example. And you'll see different things. I've also put things in different categories than BNI does. For example, under personal services, I put family law, I put financial planning, and I put funeral services. I could have put funeral services under events, but I put it under personal services. Can they move? Of course they can. Can things be in different categories? Sure they can. But who do you need in your chapter to make sure that you've got a robust potential for a power team? A potential power team that meets with each other, that strategizes with each other, that helps each other, that opens up their diaries to each other. Yeah, pretty powerful. So you need a balanced chapter to form power teams. But let's be selfish for a moment. I'm looking at Ross right now. Ross is in the building and trades area. So in his chapter, he has a lot of open categories. Yeah, there's a lot of open categories in there. What's filled? Well, he's got an AC person. You don't have a painter right now. You've got an electrician. You've got a plumber. You don't have interior decoration, but you have interior design. You do have an architect. You don't have an engineer. You don't have a surveyor. You've got a flooring person. We don't have a roofer or gutterer. Landscape we've got. joinery, we don't have as a category. So all of those are open. Imagine if all of those open categories were filled, because if all of those open categories were filled, there would be a lot more people in the room to give referrals to everybody in the room. And Ross would have more work. Ross would have more of the work he wants because he'd tell all those people exactly the kind of work he wants. And Ross, if he invites those people to the room, gets to vet the quality of the suppliers that he's inviting as well. He's not going to invite flippant startups that don't have a track record. He's going to invite people who he knows that he can trust to give the referrals to. By the way, do you notice how I was just very specific about talking about Ross and Ross's needs, yet all of you were thinking about your own needs, I hope? And do you see how specific in one enabled you to think about lots of different people? You can be specific and it will still open up people's RASs, their reticular activating systems. Promise you, be specific, ask for a specific invite. Okay. I would love to get a little bit of feedback. It's 1:13. I'm still on time. Everything's working. I would love to know what feedback you've got. So Bridget's just written something. What's one thing so far that you have learned that you're going to take away? One thing. What have you written down that you went and put a star by it? You said, oh, I've got to remember that. Got to remember that. Litigation lawyers missing. Yes, you are correct, Chris. It is an excellent one to add. I'll add it before I send the PowerPoint to you guys. And Bridget, business broker, absolutely, I will add that. And we do have a few business brokers in our region. It would be good. Use this slide in one-to-ones. Jean, that is brilliant. Oh, you guys, if you brought this to a one-to-one with someone in your contact sphere, you would be able to talk to them about who was missing and strategize. If you brought it to a one-to-one with someone not in your contact sphere, you would be able to do exactly the same thing. Ask them who's missing in their world and find out if you know someone. Greg says the pen is mightier than the sword, and it's so important. And it doesn't even need to be an expensive pen. The best thing is a $5,000 pen works as well as a Bic. So they're all good. The simplicity of what to say when inviting. Hudson, we make it too complicated and we tell people too much. You're so right. We explain BNI to them. Oh, it's this group that I joined and it's been really amazing. And I go every week and, we meet with each other in between the meetings and we do all these things. Blah, blah, blah. The meeting will sell the system. You don't need to. The meeting demonstrates the power of BNI. You don't need to. All you need to do is get them to experience the meeting. Yeah. And let them know they're going to meet a lot of people. It's a great networking opportunity. They're also going to get to sit down and we're going to invite them to introduce themselves so that everybody in the room is going to see them and hear them. Yeah. I love this. Jane, I love that. Thinking simple. Let's see. I'm already meeting with David on Thursday. Would you like to join us or is that too obscure? No, that's not too obscure. That's exactly something I'd say. I'm going to be meeting with him on Thursday. Why don't you come with me? It's a meeting that I already have in my diary. I'd love for you to come. It's an event I go to. Yeah. By the way, I don't hide the fact that it's BNI. But I also don't, BNI is a secret. People don't know what it is. And the initials BNI are nebulous. So would you want to come to my BNI meeting? What's that? Is most often the response I would get. What's a BNI meeting? So instead, I just say a networking meeting. And that's not to pull the wool over their eyes. It's simply to make it not jargony. All right. I like the idea of inviting referrals. Yeah, I want this slide. You've got it. Reminder of targeted and focused activity. Less is more, Jean. Absolutely. I love that. And Bridget, yeah, that's a really good way to get people to come. Be selfish. Tamara, I cannot tell you how important it is that you control your destiny. BNI works, but it works better when you've got these contact spheres filled. And then you start strategically working with those people to find out more about them. You get to know, like, and trust them. You realize that you can give them referrals and that they will make you look good. You use the system of BNI, but you can't do it if it's blank. And by the way, I am a big fan of cross-chapter referrals, but I am a bigger fan of you having someone in your corner on a weekly basis that has to look you in the eye and make sure that they do good by you. I do believe in cross-chapter, but I also think that you're missing out if you don't have those people in your room. By the way, if you've got a small chapter, you've got great opportunity to develop the culture of your group. Do not believe that you need to change chapters in order to improve your results from BNI. You don't. You need to change cultures. And it starts with you.
Yes.
Starts with you. Let's see, strategic inviting. Yeah. Chris says asking contacts to attend meetings 3 times a week, but not the same person each time. Yeah. I love it. Start targeting your inviters. Don't overcomplicate it. Consumers. Yeah, Vanessa, it's amazing. Amazing. All right. Yes, Tatiana, you don't need to convince them. Take no for an answer. And if they say not now, then say, would you like me to invite you again? Just get a yes or no. Hope that they say no, because then you don't need to remember to do it. I subscribe to it's called the Notivation monthly newsletter, and their motto is go for no. Hope that they say no so you have no more action items. But chances are they'll say, oh no, why don't you invite me during school holidays? Because I can come when the kids are out of school. It's crazy stuff. So, and then you have an action. All right, it is 1:18. For your diary, I would like to do a little bit of an ad here. After hours. I had a wonderful one-to-one yesterday with Tatiana, and we talked about one of the things that I would really love for people to do in BNI is not necessarily visit everybody's chapter, but instead participate in regional events where you get to meet people from other chapters. You don't have to visit more chapters. You need to be more well connected. So come to our after hours event and be connected with 13 chapters worth of people. Yeah, fantastic opportunity. So it is on Tuesday, the 11th of November. It is at the Northbridge Golf Club. It starts at 5:30 and it goes until 7:30. There's a little bit of food, not dinner. There's a little bit of drink, not enough for you not to be able to drive home. And it's fun. There is we're going to do a fundraiser for our charity collective. We have some charity members involved in our region, and we are going to do a little raffle prize. And that raffle prize is going to be cash. I love cash. Cash is good. We're going to do it all on the day. And Jean is helping me with that. And she volunteered, but I didn't say yes yet. Jean, yes, please help me. Okay. So there's our after hours. And that was ad number 1. Now, you can always find these events on our website, bnisne.com.au, under events. I also want to share with you that there are more opportunities to network with your region. Every month we run a leadership roundtable. We've already run the leadership roundtable for this month, and we've got one coming up in November. I'll tell you that date. Right now we're looking at the Lunch and Learn workshop. And another opportunity for all of you is to come to the Lunch and Live Member Success Program. I run it every single month. It is an open invitation, and it is not for new members only. Not. It is for all members, because what is it? It's learning and reminding yourself how to use the BNI system. Okay? In November, we have another leadership roundtable, and guess what? It's on the 11th of November too, at the same venue. Why? Because we go to the leadership roundtable from 2:30 to 5, and then from 5:30 to 7:30, we have drinks with each other. So it's getting you in one place on one day. If you would like to come, you are welcome to register to come to the leadership roundtable and participate in that as well. The treasurer, the vice president, and the president automatically are coming to that. But we welcome you to all come and regionally network if you want to. Our next Lunch and Learn is going to be on the 12th of November. So if you enjoyed this one and thought you got a lot out of it, I hope you'll come to the next one. If you enjoyed this one and got a lot out of it, I hope you'll tell others. Our global convention is coming up next month and tickets are still available. And I've learned that they will be available all the way up until when the event starts, but the price will go up. They have last minute pricing. So there's early bird pricing, which is really cheap, and there's last minute pricing, which is more expensive. And finally, next month is our last lunch and live member success program for the year. And so I hope you will consider that. Now, you might not be coming to the global convention. Vanessa, everybody is allowed. Anybody who wants to buy a ticket to that is welcome to come. If you are not coming to the conference, but you would still like to network with the people who are going to the conference, this will be a lot of people from across the globe, across the country, across Sydney. And we are having a harbor cruise on the night of Wednesday, the 19th of November. And I would openly invite you to that. I've already sent you guys each an email invitation to that. I encourage you to buy your ticket sooner than later because it's open to everybody. The Lunch and Live Member Success Program is the last Tuesday of every month tomorrow.
Except December.
Except December, because I'll be drinking on my deck. All right. And the second to last slide is this one, you guys. There we go. Next year. I know I'm in advance, but I just want to make sure that you save the date at least. And if you buy your ticket now, it'll be at an early bird price. But I think this event will sell out because it's not a big hotel. The Manly Pacific is not a very big hotel. We had more attendees at our last year's conference than this hotel can accommodate. So if you are interested in going, you will not be able to get your tickets last minute. So you might as well save the date and buy the tickets now and just plan on it. This is our national conference. You will meet people from all across the country. And if you would like to learn from the best of the best, come to that. I did talk to Tatiana yesterday as well about how poorly marketed this is. Most people think that this national conference is for people like me who own BNI franchises and people like Andrew and Jean and the rest who are on my DNA team. There could be nothing further from the truth. This event is for business owners who are involved in BNI.
It's more a business conference.
It's a business conference.
Right.
And it's the least expensive 2-day business conference that you will find.
Wendy, is it 2 days for members? I thought there used to be 1 day for members and 1 day for DNA, or
Correct. It is now a 2-day members on the
It
Friday
expanded
and
this
Saturday.
year for the first time, Bridge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
last
one
year
in
was
Brisbane.
2 days and it worked really, really well. And it's 2 days this year. All right, so it's a
and
Friday.
it's a Friday and a Saturday. I just checked.
Yep,
So it
Oh, is
doesn't
it?
even chew into
Okay.
your week too much. Don't have a life out in the weekend.
correct. All right. Our topic for next month is this: turn your weekly presentation into a referral magnet so that you are getting
Oh, yeah.
referrals week after week after week. I will cover all of that. Surprise, surprise, I'll cover who, how, and what. So who, how, and what, but we're going to workshop it and I'm going to put you all in the breakout rooms and we're going to play with it. So I'm going to ask everybody who registers to come prepared with their initial prezzo, and depending on numbers, we might do the whole group so that you get to actually present your who, how, what to the whole group, or you might just do it to a breakout room depending on how many people come. So exciting. Linda, what does it cover? Do you mean what topics does it cover? Okay, everything from AI to marketing your business to preparing your business for sale to getting the most out of your BNI membership to what are other topics? Oh, leadership principles to handling staff. Like there are so many different topics, and it really does cover the gamut. We have speakers come in from BNI members that present on how to be a better speaker, how to be a more effective salesperson, Yeah,
Oh,
really
good.
good topics. It is not all about BNI. It's not even partly like half of it's not about BNI. We try and keep it kind of small. We want you to get more out of your BNI membership, but we also want to make sure it's a really valuable conference. So here are the last slide. Challenge yourself, you guys. I would like to suggest that you should strategically invite 3 people every week. And you should do it on the day of your meeting, just after your meeting. So schedule it into your diary. If you have a meeting on a Thursday at 11:30, put 15 minutes into your diary that says invite people to next week's meeting. And I made up the time. You could do it at any time you want. But it will not take you more than 15 minutes to do this, especially if you wrote down who you should invite, because you already have the list. And here's the list. 1 person to grow your power team. 1 person to grow someone else's power team. And 1 to see the next week's presentation. There you go. I've been specific about who. All you have to do is write the names in. Maybe every week when you go to your meeting, you write my power team, their power team, next week's presentation, and then you write names there when you think of them throughout the weekly meeting. And that way you already have your list. And now all you have to do is ask them the question, would you like to come to a networking event with me next week? Share your success with your team. The success is in doing the inviting, not always in getting the result. Just like giving a referral, a good quality referral, is as powerful. That's the practice that you need, is to give the referral. You won't win all the referrals. You won't get all the closed business. It should be a higher close rate. It should be better, but you don't need to win every time. You need to do the activity. And I think all the business coaches who are here on the call, like I'm looking around at all the business coaches going, do the activity. So if you invite 3 people, tell people, I invited 3 people to this week's meeting. Yeah? None are coming. I don't care. Then next week, say it again. I invited these 3 people to next week's meeting. 1 of them's coming. Woohoo! And then next week, tell them who the 3, be proactive in your groups and see if you can start a culture shift that people invite regularly. And your energy and your activity will be contagious. My friends, you get a CEU point.
Hey, Wendy.
Yes, sir.
Just before you close, because we're talking about inviting, don't forget the connector competition's still on, Master Connector. Perfect time to be inviting visitors.
Yeah, you'll definitely get some good recognition and some bling. By the way, if you do wear your BNI pin around, or at least one of the pins that you've earned, it will start conversations, and then you can invite them to come and see what it is. What's that BNI thing? Oh, you know what? Why don't you come with me? And it's better for you to see it. It's a good conversation starter, and you got one in your welcome pack. So if you didn't find it, go have a look. It's in there. All right. You guys, you get 1 CEU point for being here. Please pop that in right away so you don't forget. Thank you very much. And the best thing you could do for me is to write a little testimonial about how much you enjoyed this on our sandpit in Facebook. Let everybody know that you came and had fun. I will send you guys the PowerPoint based on your chat. So if you haven't chatted yet, I won't know that you were here. So please chat, so that if you didn't chat yet, chat so that I know that you were here. And thank you so much. Have a great day. Thanks, Ross. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Danielle. See you, Andrew. Thank you. Chris, CGPRI. I love it.
See you, Wendy.
Thanks, Wendy. See ya.
Thanks, Wendy. Thank you. Bye.
You could call me BNI online, Chris. It's okay.
Yeah, acronyms forevermore.
Fantastic. Greg, thanks for being here. Yep. All right.
All right.
Fabulous. Wonderful to see everybody. Oh, Paula, I didn't see your name there. Now I see you. G'day. See you later. See you, Tony.
Yeah, good to see you again, Wendy.
Great to see you too. Hope you're well.
Cheers, Tony.
Oh, and young Andrew, you're looking well as always.
Thank you, my friend. Much obliged.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Love
Yeah,
it.
that was a free plug for you.
Thank you, buddy. Shame
Have
everybody
a
left.
wonderful day, Tony. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, boss.
Hey, you. How you doing?
All right. How are you?
Good. Thank
What
you.
a power hour.
Yeah, it was.
Power of power.
Yeah, I loved it.
You
How you
stop the
on
recording?
challenge?
You can
Challenge. Challenge.
stop
Pretty
the
good.
recording now.
Yeah. Where's
Zing,
that?
zing, zing.
It's got to be somewhere here. Recording. Oh, there it is. Under more.
Yeah, it moved.